Binance is shilling DeSci yet again, and this comes at a glorious time in the market as the entire market is beginning to break out. Today we're going to talk about obviously decentralized science because that is what we talk about on a daily cadence here, and we are also going to address some of the other news in the DeSci world and check out the market because the market is looking very beautiful, guys. Genuinely, we are seeing Bitcoin attempt to break out right now. So over the last 2 months, we've been in this bull flag, which we've been talking about every single day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for when I am busy working and then I don't end up going live. But you can see that for the last week or so, we have been decisively above this downtrend that we've been in, right? I have the moon phases on right now just to showcase that tomorrow we'll be entering into a full moon, and as ridiculous as it may sound, every one of the last breakouts that we've had with Bitcoin have occurred on a full moon phase. So funny, not funny, I don't really care if you believe it or not. The truth is this indicator is like 85% accurate, and it's actually insane to watch it at play. Now, the total crypto market cap, which is where we care a little bit more because we are in mostly altcoins, this here today is trying to break out of its bull flag. So we have been in the same exact trend as Bitcoin, except not as strong as Bitcoin with the total crypto market cap. And so long as today can close somewhere ideally above $3.37 trillion for total crypto market cap, then we will be good to go. If we can get today to clear the intraday high, then I think we'll be setting up good for a clean, decisive breakout. And then obviously we want to see it kind of shoot straight up into this circle that I drew here many weeks ago. What's going on, Rurales? How's it going, King Alexander? What's good, MG? Spell Ninja's in here asking about Dynex. We can talk about Dynex, of course. First, we're going to cover the Binance report on decentralized science. What is good? Wild Africa, welcome. I will say, right off the bat, Wild Africa, I'm not sure that I'll be able to attend the Great Migration event. I didn't realize it was in 2 weeks. I'm sure you said it, but I don't think I realized it. So I would love to attend at some point, though. Hopefully next year I can make room to go to that because I'm sure it would be absolutely astonishing. Today I have water, but it is partly cloudy with some electrolytes mixed into the water. Now, let's go take a look at Binance. If you guys are paying attention to DeSci at all, I'm sure that most of you, if not all of you, have already seen this article because they posted it last night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since then, between last night and this morning, almost every DeSci project has reposted it to share and spread awareness because the last time we had a major breakout in DeSci is when Binance was talking about DeSci. And the time before that, when we had a major breakout in DeSci, it was because Binance and Brian Armstrong were talking about DeSci. So here we have it again today. Binance putting out another article. They've consistently put out articles and each one has pumped the market a little bit less each time. But nonetheless, they are here standing firm in their conviction on decentralized science. And as a result, it is causing the volume here in the DeSci market to spike pretty substantially. A lot of that is on the back of Bio Protocol here. As we know, Binance invested into Bio Protocol, so they have a little bit of an incentive to talk about it and get it moving. And from the bottom here, I believe Bio is up something like 20%, give or take 15%, somewhere around there. Let's go check it out and see for real exactly how much it is up right now. We get this little drawing from the actual bottom here to now. It is up 27%. It had a bit of a spike today, but it's getting eaten into a little bit. So we'll see if it can actually decisively break out and keep this momentum going for any extended period of time. If so, it has just successfully done a double bottom on Bio. So that is very exciting. If we go ahead and read in a little bit on the Binance report here, you'll see they are going again over what is decentralized science. So many of these points, I'm sure we've talked about tons, and you guys will all appreciate hearing it. Although now that I'm looking at the date, I see that this was posted March of 2024. It just happens that they reposted it here yesterday. So we've actually read through this article already, but it does not hurt to refresh everyone. Dynex pain, bruh. I know, dude. I know. I'm the one who dumped like way too much money into it for it to just continuously go down. But I'm just storing it away in the filing cabinet, earning my yield on the Dynex coin, and just hanging on. But key takeaways. Decentralized science is a movement aiming to build public infrastructure for scientific research using Web3 technologies. Compared to TradSci, DeSci allows for more funding sources, censorship-free collaboration, and open access to research data. By leveraging blockchain technology, DeSci has the potential to make science more decentralized, transparent, and accessible. The same rhetoric we've been going over for years at this point. Introduction to this space. Decentralized science has emerged as a movement that utilizes Web3 technology to improve scientific research. In this article, we'll take a look at the decentralized science is, some of its use cases, and how it differs from traditional science. What is DeSci? Essentially, DeSci aims to broaden access to scientific data, promote more transparent peer review processes, and incentivize international collaboration among researchers. By leveraging blockchain technology, DeSci can ensure the integrity and immutability of scientific records while eliminating barriers to entry. So yes, it is the same thing we've been talking about, right? It just goes over how they're trying to open access all of academia and make it so that there are less bottlenecks, and make it so that there's less friction in the space, which is a really good thing. And then they have the different funding mechanisms. So DAOs, they have accessibility, reproducibility, which is arguably the number one issue within academia right now, is that we have a really hard time reproducing studies in academia. And I say we as if I'm out here trying to reproduce studies, but they have a very difficult time with reproducing studies in academia because a lot of times things that don't look good in the study get omitted from the study. People will value their tenure at a university over publishing research that didn't have super great findings, when those not super great findings are actually super beneficial to not reproducing the same nonsense errors and mistakes in academia. So putting it on chain means you can't hide some of those mistakes and makes it a lot easier to reproduce, especially if you put the entire methodology on chain of a research study, or figure out incentivization mechanisms to recreate studies and redo some of the academic publications that are out there just to prove or disprove their theories. Do you have another pre-sale like bio? Not right now, Spell Ninja. It is not the time to be in the pre-sale. Well, let me rephrase that. Now is the time to get into pre-sales because they're going to be so undervalued right now. However, I don't really see anyone launching any pre-sales right now, so I do not have any in this moment. Also, wild camping is possible. Camping with the animals is along the Mara River. We'll be living with crocs and hippos side by side, lions, cheetahs, leopards all nearby. Absolutely crazy. I would love to do that. It sounds so entertaining. Decentralized science use cases. We have academic publishing, we have research funding, we have data sharing and collaboration, we have peer review, and then they compare decentralized science to traditional science. And if you look, all of these we have exposure to in our DeSci portfolios. So academic publishing, we have Research Hub and Nova Blocks, which are really the only two out there. We have research funding. All of the DAOs do research funding, so pick your niche and then get involved with them. You have data sharing and collaboration. You have Data Lake, you have Hippocrat, you have Axon, you have a lot of data sharing and collaboration out there. And then peer review is what everyone's trying to get into a little bit more. Specifically, Research Hub and Nova Blocks are trying to get heavier into the peer review. And yeah, you guys can feel free to read through this article if you would like to. Again, this is from a while ago. They posted this over a year ago. It's just that they reposted it here last night and got a little bit of excitement into DeSci yet again. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at Dynex, since people are saying pain. Yes, that is pain. That is a painful chart. I don't know what you guys want me to say. The thesis doesn't change regardless as to what the token price is doing. So if you are unfamiliar with my thesis, then go back and look through some of the videos I've posted on it, or ask me questions here. But the price of it going down does not change the overall thesis. When do you think big money will leave meme coins and useless coins and start going into utility, DeSci, and so on? Personally, Spell Ninja, I believe that they won't, like, the money that's in meme coins are not going to leave meme coins unless it is explicitly going to the launcher of that meme coin's pocket, right? Their wallets are going to drain the liquidity from meme coins and just put it into their own personal bank accounts. So I don't think that money is going to leave meme coins and go into utilities and DeSci. I think what happens is over time, the proof of concept gets solidified, and over time you start seeing revenues and earnings, and you start seeing actual progression of the companies that are behind these utility coins, and the network effect will grow them with actual fundamental users of the technology. Obviously, it's going to have its boom and bust phases throughout the adoption curve here that we're talking about, but ultimately, I don't think that money's going to leave meme coins to go to utility coins. I think that utility coins and utility-based niches like decentralized science and DePIN and stuff like that, the AI coins, they're all going to have to prove themselves as valuable assets for people to hold on to. And then, and only then, will we see them go bonkers. And it might take a while. I have no idea. Genuinely have no idea. But I do know that that's what's likely going to happen. Now, if we keep looking into decentralized science as a whole and the adoption of, or the advancement of biotech, we are seeing some pretty astonishing things here. And I want to highlight a couple of them for you guys because I need you guys to understand that what we've just opened up to is more than just a narrative-driven hype cycle within crypto. We've opened the door to an exponential curve that no one has ever seen before and no one has ever even possibly fathomed in biotech. The number one use case of AI right now is in biotech. And biotech is advancing quicker than anyone could have possibly fathomed. And I'm going to show you two things here to kind of back that a little bit. So here from Dr. Shelby, I have a post. It says 10 bio companies on the edge of legality and ethics. It's just showcasing to you guys a little bit of like what boundaries are being pushed in academia right now and in biotech. So Alcor freezes people after death, running since 1974 with greater than 200 people frozen. So we have literally cryopreservation, aka cryo-DAO. We have Viagen clones animals like cats and dogs, horses for private owners. So if your dog or cat is on the way out, you can actually just clone it and try and keep the same creature. Nectome, brain preservation, co-aiming at long-term memory. So pretty insane to think that you're going to be able to preserve a human brain in the not too distant future. Sam Altman on the wait list. That's crazy. Heliospect Genomics selects embryos for IQ enhancement, claims to boost IQ by 6 points. So more of those designer babies, right? We also just saw that scientists were successfully able to isolate out the extra chromosome in Down syndrome people and remove it. Now, that's not open for real use yet, but that kind of stuff is here and people are already doing it. We have Bexorg, brain to bits via circulation prevention or preservation. So I'm assuming that means uploading your like a brain to the cloud, basically. You guys should go check out. I was watching a Netflix show, Pantheon.
Outlander?
No, Pantheon. Sorry. Yes, this one. You guys should go look at Uploaded Intelligence here at this animated series on Netflix. It is actually really good, and it kind of shows the dark side to that kind of a technology. You have Oxitec releasing GM insects to control insect-transmitted diseases. Bill Gates is probably super familiar with that, but genetically modified insects. Florida has had several volleys of GMO mosquitoes released, which have been genetically modified to not be able to reproduce in order to keep the mosquito population down. But it's pretty terrifying if you think about it, because we do also know that they can put transmittable vaccines in insects and release them to the population. They've done that in Africa. They've done that a lot in Africa. They just do some of their testing in Africa for some reason. BioViva telomerase gene therapy to extend lifespan. So literally those little shoelace caps at the end of your shoe, they have that kind of an idea with DNA at the end of the DNA. And as that frays down, it causes damage to your DNA. And it is one of the things that causes aging. So being able to reverse that. We have mini circle follistatin gene therapy to increase muscle mass available in Honduras. That's crazy. That's just nuts. Advanced steroids based off of just modifying your genes rather than taking androgynous hormones. Now defunct, so I'm going to ignore those two. But that kind of, like, we're in a sci-fi realm right now. And what's even crazier about all of this is this one post I want to showcase to you guys from Ethan here from Rare Disease, right? From Curetopia. So right now, like I said, all of the main advancements of artificial intelligence have been in the realm of gene therapies, biotech, and that kind of a field, right? Being able to map out all of the proteins that exist in the human body, which there's like 200 million or something like that. And previously, before AI, we only had the mapping of like 200,000. And that took it like only a year or so to be able to map all of those out, which is absolutely insane. Being able to edit out genes and diagnose issues within certain x-rays or different MRI scans using artificial intelligence, all right? And that's just like baseline, easy to understand things. There are people working on some of the most insane things you could ever imagine, okay? And I want to pinpoint this statistic to you guys, okay? We're going to take out a calculator here, all right? And we're gonna do a little bit of moon math here, but in a different realm from what you guys are used to. So Ethan here says, if frontier models today can save 10 hours for every one of the 50 million plus PhD scientists on Earth, that equates to a collective productivity unlock of 1,000 millennia. We have no idea what's coming, but it's the biggest thing since sliced bread, okay? We honestly don't know what's coming. And we're gonna do a little bit of math here to show you guys what it is he's saying. Let's say out of the 50 million people that he's saying that are studying and doing academia and researching and that actually have accredited degrees in biotech fields, right? In PhDs fields. It doesn't have to just be biotech, but across the board, right? We have 50 million people, all right? If each of them, in accordance of 1 week, could add in 10 extra hours of productivity thanks to artificial intelligence, you have 500 million hours of extra productivity per week, all right? Per week. 500 million hours. Now let's divide this out by a work week of 40 hours per work week, right? You have 12.5 million extra weeks of work done every week. Let's divide this out by a year. Every week we have 240,000 extra years of work done every single week. Think about that. Really just extrapolate that out for a minute. Every single week, if only 10 hours of productivity can be saved via AI, we have an additional productivity rate of 240,000 years per week. We are going to expand faster than anyone could possibly fathom. That's only PhD people. You go look at the number of people that are working in like tech fields across the world, and you're looking at, I was looking at it before this, you're looking at somewhere around 100 million people. I'm sure the number is honestly even higher, and over time that number is going to continue to expand, and over time AI is going to reach into more and more fields of work. There's something like 3 billion people fully employed in the world right now. I'm sure that number is even higher, but ultimately not everyone's going to be impacted by AI, at least not at first. The productivity boom that's coming over the next 10, 20, 30 years is in the tune of adding millions of years of productivity every week. So when you go and you look at things like the stock market, absolutely ripping right now, right? You go look at it at all-time highs, and the economy feels like it's decimated and things don't feel that good out there for the average consumer. But you think about the amount of productivity that is being created right now on the back of artificial intelligence. This looks like it has a long way to go before anything bad starts happening. Now, obviously, this is going to end up, I imagine, somewhat similar to the dot-com bubble, right? where you see things go crazy because everyone was like, holy shit, the internet's beautiful. It's going to cause so much extra productivity. And it did, but we as humans got a little too overzealous on it, and then we ended up crashing for a long time. I imagine that same type of thing is going to happen. However, I think we're probably around here. I think we might be around here in that area where we're just now starting to go parabolic because of AI. Now, who knows? Obviously, unforeseen circumstances might take place, and they always will end up taking place. We'll have some black swan stuff. But think about what I just said about the amount of productivity that is going to come out of artificial intelligence. You have that's only on a 10-hour boost per week. You're looking at 250,000 years of extra productivity across the board. That would be nuts. Now, I'd be very shocked if we had this happen, but who knows? It might. You go look at Bitcoin, especially if they're going to continue to just erode away the efficacy of a dollar, like the value that the dollar has. If they just continue to erode that away, then yeah, we're going to see this thing break out like crazy. Like, look at, like, genuinely, Bitcoin right now is 2.5% off from all-time highs. That is one modest day of gains in the crypto markets to get to all-time highs again. We are right there. We've been consolidating within 5% of all-time highs for the last 2 weeks. Things are looking good, guys. Things are looking really good. And you go look at others, right? This is the crypto market minus the top 10 coins. And others, while it does not look the same, right? We are not at all-time highs. We're in fact at the bottom of a wedge, meaning this has even more room to run. This gets back up, just to get back up to the top of the range here, we have to have an 80% increase. And then we can break out from there. So others are gearing up for quite an astonishing rally. My hopes would be to get others to $1 trillion market cap, but I'd be okay if we got to like 500 million or 500 billion or 750 billion or somewhere around there. Absolutely nutty to see. Was that good enough hopium for you, Beagle? Hopefully that was good hopium for you. It does take zooming out a little bit, right? As you saw, I was viewing the monthly chart on the crypto and the stock market, but ultimately, if you're not thinking in terms of years, then you're probably not going to be in a good position, right? The rally that we're waiting for the end of this year, for the end of the bull market, theoretically, is something that we've been prepping for 4 years, right? We positioned for this rally like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, and now it's here. You shouldn't be positioning for the rally now. Now you should be positioning for the next thing. You got to look 3 to 5 years. What does the market look like? And in 3 to 5 years, we'll probably be in another good buying opportunity for crypto. But ultimately, you need to be looking out 3 to 5 years when you're putting money into stuff. If you're thinking in terms of investment, if you're trying to just flip capital really quickly, then you can think in the terms of months or weeks. I wouldn't even go down to weeks. I would think in terms of months, but that's just what works best for me. Yeah, and just looking at this for a quick flip, it looks gorgeous. It looks really, really gorgeous. AI can't hold a portfolio to zero, so it will never replace me. Let's go, Beagle. Let's go. That's the right attitude. AI can't take my personality away yet. But honestly, yeah, I don't spend enough time, I don't think, analyzing the others market cap, right? You go look at this. I was kind of expecting it to line up better, but we've been just grinding this down on top of what seemingly was the previous resistance. But it looks gorgeous. Like, this is a very beautiful little cup and handle formation. Not even really a cup and handle, just what I ended up saying. We need to see it get out of this bull flag, right? We need to see it break out of that bull flag and do something like this. Something like that, right? Get us moving again into August to get back up to the prior range highs here. In good news, you go look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is starting to fall, having a bit of a retracement back down to the 200-day moving average, which is all the way down here at 62%. So seeing it go from 66% down to potentially 62.5% would be a good rally for altcoins, especially if, again, we get Bitcoin to go parabolic here. So Bitcoin breaking out, dominance falling is the recipe for DeSci summer, but it's getting close to fall, to be honest. So DeSci fall. Yeah, I'm just very, very, very hopeful for everything that's going on right now because, again, the market's lining up for a glorious rally. Now, unfortunately, Pump Fund is launching their own token here. And we have the announcement post here officially confirming that there will be 1 trillion tokens in total supply, and 20% of the supply is going to the team. So make no mistake, this is liquidity extraction. That has been the main ethos behind Pump Fund the entire time that it's been in the market is how can we maximize the amount of money that we can get out of the crypto market. This is not going to be any different. Now, Trump did the same thing with his meme coin, and we still had people make really good money on the way up. Just do not get sucked into the idea that the Pump Fund token is going to go up and to the right only and forever. If you don't get into it early, I do not think this is a good thing to be in, because what do you think these people are going to do when they have the opportunity to get out? Pump Fund just raised at like a $4 billion valuation or some crazy number like that. They raised, I believe they raised like $1 billion at a $4 billion valuation. And I'll double check that in a second. But all those investors that just gave them that $1 billion, they're like, how can we get our return now, please? Thank you. We'd like to have our return in this exact moment. So you guys gonna launch a token or like what? Because we want our quick liquidity grab. And there are 13% of the supply going to the existing investors. Those people are going to sell. Even if it only ends up being like 2 or 3% of supply tanking, it's going to hurt the chart pretty aggressively. If 2% of everyone who's getting funds from this end up just selling, you're looking at like a 10 to 15% just rug. And I'm not like 10 to 15% of supply rugging would decimate a chart. Now, obviously, there'll be a bunch of buy orders coming in, but just be very careful, guys. Just be very careful. I don't even think they're doing an airdrop at all. Literally. You want to go look at when Pump Fund launched, right? So the initial coin offering Saturday, July 12th, which is cool, whatever. Since launching in January 2024, what has Solana done since January 2024? When is that? Oh, look at that. Pump Fund launched right here. Solana, yes, continued to go up for a while. Ended up printing 200% gains from January 2024 until the peak. But also at the same time, if we take the peak price here and go to where we're at right now, Solana's only up 24% since January 2024, give or take. They were in the middle of one of the craziest rallies ever, and then Pump Fund launched and they just kind of stopped the rally. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, but I'm not too great hopeful for Pump Fund. I do think that the market structure and the market sentiment will shift drastically and just cause Solana to end up pushing pretty aggressively, but I'm bearish on Pump Fund, my personal take, but I've been bearish on the meme coins for quite some time. All right, 2 more posts to talk about with Decentralized Science, then we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. But Poseidon just came out and announced that they finished up their Q2 objectives, and so we're going to go over them. As you guys know, Poseidon is one of my favorite DeSci projects out there. I believe in the team very adamantly, and I've seen point blank, time and time again, as evidenced right here, that they continue to execute. This is their number one objective. Their number one mission is to be successful here. So Poseidon, Q2 goals complete. Rare Compute's first insights are ready. Poseidon rebrand complete. The off-chain proposal live on their DApp. Spark smart contracts were coded. WeCura data collection and processing is progressing steadily. And Nephronet lined up for potential funding. So we actually saw, I don't know how many of you guys ended up voting, but Nephronet attempted to receive funds from Poseidon, and they put it to a vote to get 1% equity into the company, and they actually turned it down. The community said, no, that's not enough. So they had to go back to the negotiation table and start negotiating for better terms on this funding deal, which is pretty cool to see. The community actually stand their ground and say, no, we want more than 1% if we're going to be funding your research project. So that was a really cool circle to see from Poseidon DAO, right? The actual DAO being put to work and not just being a yes man. A lot of the DAOs are just yes men to whatever gets proposed, because ultimately what's getting proposed is likely coming directly from the head leaders of the research firms and everything of the DAO, right? The creators of the DAO are likely vetting it and proposing it, voting yes, and just putting it through. But in this case, we got to see firsthand the DAO actually work. And I think that's pretty cool to see. So it'll be interesting to see how it ends up looking at the end of this, right? The new deal. But yeah. They have a full report on the updates in the bio, but I don't see it in the bio, so we'll click here. Yeah, I think they are. Let's go to the link tree, and then we can see the Medium article. It's really cool though, because we're entering right now into Q2 earnings season in the stock market, and so we get to go through and see our Q2 earnings season for DeSci. And most of these DeSci projects are actually submitting things like this. So love to see it. Yeah. I can read this if you guys want me to, but I may not end up reading it. The other announcement / news here for you guys is another Q2 update from Valley DAO. So Valley DAO being one of the projects I'm super bullish on as well, specifically their Hempy and their Forge and all their IP tokens mostly. But Valley DAO here, end of Q2 2025 update, and they have officially wrapped up Q2. Strategic partnership and spinouts. We proudly welcome Juniper VC into the Valley DAO ecosystem through a strategic $100,000 investment. Their support strengthens our ability to fund climate biotech research that otherwise struggles in traditional ecosystems. Our portfolio spinout, BioHalo, emerged from the stealth with the launch of their new website. They're targeting the forever chemicals crisis with novel biopolymers and have already raised $1.8 million to date to scale their vision. This is the first time I think I'm fully reading about this, so that is beautiful to see. I do remember them working on something with the forever chemicals, but let's go BioHalo. They also welcomed Dr. Matteo D. Not going to attempt to pronounce that, as our entrepreneur in residence. Matteo holds a PhD in oncology and bioinformatics from Oxford and brings extensive industry and startup experience with a demonstrated track record of translating computational biology research into market-ready products, including co-founding, supporting multiple biotech ventures across Europe and the US. Let's go. Building out the team. Project milestones. They have Cacao Zero, scaled from 50 milliliters to 12 liters at Imperial College London, producing cacao-like fats at 100 grams per liter. This is a critical step towards first cacao-free chocolate bar, which we plan to debut within the DeSci ecosystem before expanding to the broader consumer market. There's been a few of different updates from Cacao Zero in the last couple of months. That's cool. That's a really cool project that they're working on. The Hempy.Science project delivered promising data indicating that our enzymes can effectively smooth hemp's fiber. Next steps include testing fiber strength and spinning the new material into fabric. We're one step closer to climate-resilient hemp-based textiles. Love to see that as well. Their enzymes continuing to truck forward to make that consumer-facing product. And then they had the Flow app, the Flow AI system that won $15,000 from the Bioprotocol X AI hackathon. It's aiming to solve for why deep tech fails, solving deep tech's broken pipeline. And then they had a bunch of little care packages that they gave away at Bioprotocol's event, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I love to see it. Good update. Good Q2, Valley DAO. What DeSci project is making the most money? Probably Bio. If I had to guess, it's Bio. But I do not know for sure. Bio's just got the most extensive raw numbers out there. It's chilling at $94 million market cap, and it's got so many Bio DAOs underneath its umbrella that I would bet that Bio is making the most amount of money right now. Okay, what is it that you guys are interested in discussing here for the rest of today's live stream? I can read through this update article from Q2 2025 from Poseidon DAO if you guys want to. I probably should, honestly, and then make it into a clip so I can post it on X. But do you invest into quality memes? I don't think that those exist, so no, I do not. The closest thing to a meme that I have money in is my own DeSci agent, but he's got a lot of utility behind him as well. We just are using the likeness of a meme within academia and putting him into DeSci. It is a parody account, so parody, meme, pretty close. This is my chosen one because I'm working on it. So it's not even like Memecoins generally don't have any additional utility behind them, but Build does have utility. When is the new Noble contract launching? I have not gotten anything from the Noble team in many months, so I have no idea. I am just as in the dark as you guys. Even when I was working closer with him and putting in effort to make sure that I was up to date on everything, he would tell me like 24 hours before he did stuff, and so I still was in the dark most of the time. Like, I don't even know if he's still doing it. I have no idea. So I'm sorry, but let me crack my back real quick. Let's look at the watch list. We'll go to the main watch list, even though it's not really my main watch list anymore, to see that just about nothing is making really crazy moves right now. Well, shares up 10%, which is cool. Kong up 3%, which is nice. DeSci Atoms up 5.8%, but the market cap's still 23,000. That's crazy. I wonder how SciMark is. Probably not even, yeah. All right, so I'm assuming it's still just at the $400 per token. DeSci Atoms, shockingly one of the little random altcoins that I decided to throw money into because I think the project's pretty cool, and I think that it would end up, when DeSci has its big move up, I think that this will function like a meme coin, right? A $23,000 market cap. When DeSci gets its attention, I think DeSci Atoms could end up going crazy, but there's no guarantee on it. Those are pure speculations on those. Some of the other ones out there that I think have potential, I forget what I was just going to search up though. Oh no, I don't. This guy. Proto KOL, $2 million market cap. I think that this one, not in the realm of decentralized science, but in the realm of InfoFi, right? With the tracking of people's engagement on X, just like Kaito Protocol has been making a lot of good partnerships in the space. And so at a $2 million market cap, I would not be surprised to see this thing push up to like 20, 50 million, 100 million even maybe. Protocol versus Kaito. Kaito's like 400 million. So big potential on that one. You guys know I have money in it. I've just been hanging on to it still. I found something interesting called XI, or Time in Space. Do you know it? I do not. Let's look at it. VaultFi. Oh yeah. They made the announcement for VaultFi. We'll go look at that. That's a pre-sale that I did 8 months ago, maybe even longer at this point, and now they're finally going to launch it. All right, you said time in space. Can you put the link or something? Is it just a meme coin? I see nothing. I've not heard of it, so we'll go look at VaultFi while you give more details so I can look it up. VaultFi. Dun, dun, dun. VaultFi is now live. VaultFi is officially live and tradable on Radium. Shit, I didn't know it was live. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So they finally launched. It has been so long in the making for VaultFi, and now they have finally launched. So we can go through and talk about as much as you want. I'm going to go look and see what the CA is. 696% APY. Crazy. 0% transfer fee available for the first 2 weeks. I think they should partner with some... I think that they should partner with some of the InfoFi projects out there, like Kaito, like Protocol, right? I think that they should go in there and partner with them and get some attention on VaultFi, because it is supposed to be a real yield-backed DeFi protocol, right? So they're going to use some of the fees generated from the casino to actually pay out to people through VaultFi, right? And of course, some inflationary tokenomics in the very beginning, if they ended up staying with the initial idea. I don't know, because I have not paid any attention to it. But let's go, enough talking, let's actually go look. This is Sol divided by VaultFi. I really hope that this is not... I would really love it if the chart was the other way around. VaultFi divided by Sol. No. That's going to be so sad if that's the true... I think that's actually the true one. Yeah, that's 8 hours ago. They just posted it 1 hour ago, though. Oh my god. That's crazy work. Down 64%. All right, well, there you go. No pop on this one, just pure drop. I think NoClip is included into it. They do a CubeSat, and there you can use XI to buy time. Your meme or NFT can be showcased on it. Interesting. I'm going to pass, but I appreciate you putting it out there for everyone. We are very focused on DeSci here, so unfortunately I'm not going to likely partake in those types of things, but if anyone is curious, I'm sure Spell Ninja would love to talk about it. I appreciate you being here, boss. I've not seen your name before, so welcome to the live streams. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. Talk about decentralized science and the broader markets. VaultFi, launched from my old business partners many moons ago. I'm surprised that we did not end up hearing more from them beforehand, because I would have imagined they put in a lot of good work. Like, this project was something that I know they'd been working on for a very long time, so surprised we didn't hear more about it beforehand. They just kind of like put it out there and launched it, but to each their own. This guy is not happy with it. Oh well. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end the live a little bit early here to go get back to work. I have to continue to make progress on the tool I'm building for Bill. Make sure you guys show up for tomorrow's live stream. I don't know. I feel like I'm out of my flow in this exact moment saying my ending stuff, but I'm going to go continue to work on that dashboard that I've been creating for Bill so that you guys can actually use him and he's not just a meme coin. So he's going to be / is a very valuable resource, partnered with Pump Science, offering them data and very important data for their community management and their community growth within decentralized science, creating a pretty interface for everyone to be able to see the data and interact with it to help you guys manage your DeSci portfolios as best as you can with as much data as you possibly can, and AI insights, of course. And then we're going to partner with as many possible DeSci projects that we can possibly find. And it will become a thing that if you are not partnered with Bill, but building in decentralized science, that is going to be a red flag, because we're starting with the big dogs. We're getting the big guys like Pump Science on board first, and then from there we will use them as a case study to infiltrate all DeSci projects. And then the sky's the limit. Once everyone is familiar with Bill, we can do whatever we want. All right, guys, time's your most valuable asset. Hopefully I'll see you all in